What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country, in Washington, D.C., and everything you need to know about on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, stimulus check update, and daily news. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so you don't miss out on new videos that come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember those times so you don't miss out on new videos. And also, don't forget to hit the like button for us down below. We got a lot to talk about here today, including $2,000 stimulus checks that are going out to some people, and I'll let you know about that in this video, as well as petitions and support and demand that is pushing on lawmakers for everybody to get $2,000 stimulus checks. We're going to go over that in this video. There's a lot to cover here in this video, so let's jump right in. With the Olympics set to end tomorrow, President Biden says that Russian President Putin is set to invade Ukraine at any given time. And this will affect Americans as the stock market has been crashing and oil prices could skyrocket as Russia is the world's second largest producer of oil. Even if the U.S. doesn't buy a drop of oil, it will cause the price of oil worldwide and the price of barrels of oil to skyrocket. And things are only getting worse. Check this out.
Today, the United States said Moscow has stationed as many as 190,000 troops around Ukraine's borders, nearly half now in attack position. And late today, President Biden said Vladimir Putin has made up his mind to go to war.
As of this moment, I'm convinced he's made the decision. We have reason to believe that.
To be clear, you are convinced that President Putin is going to invade Ukraine. Is that what you just said a few moments ago?
Yes, I did. Yes.
President Biden made that grim assessment after holding another round of urgent talks this afternoon with European allies. The president also described what the administration believes are Russia's next moves.
We have reason to believe the Russian forces are planning to and intend to attack Ukraine in the coming week, in the coming days. We believe that they will target Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, a city of 2.8 million innocent people. The United States and our allies are prepared to defend every inch of NATO territory from any threat to our collective security as well. We also will not send troops in to fight in Ukraine, but we will continue to support the Ukrainian people. If Russia pursues its plans, it will be responsible for a catastrophic and needless war of choice. The West is united and resolved. We're ready to impose severe sanctions on Russia if it further invades Ukraine. Russia can still choose diplomacy. It is not too late to de-escalate and return to the negotiating table.
Right now, Vice President Kamala Harris is leading the U.S. delegation at the three-day Munich Security Conference in Munich, Germany. The Vice President, Secretary of State Antony Blinken, and 20 lawmakers will meet with allies about the crisis. Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky is planning to join the conference this weekend, but as NBC News reports, the White House is worried that Putin might take advantage of Zelensky's absence, and there are very real concerns about whether he could return to Ukraine from Munich if war breaks out. A spokesperson for Zelensky said they're closely monitoring the situation and a final decision will be made in the coming hours. Meanwhile, tensions are escalating in eastern Ukraine, along with fears that pro-Russia groups are trying to provoke a war. NBC News chief foreign correspondent Richard Engel has the latest from Ukraine tonight.
While Russian ships today conducted drills in the Black Sea, in eastern Ukraine, Russia may be building a case for war through a crisis that doesn't exist. Today, Russian-backed separatists there on sympathetic social media channels put out a barrage of images appearing to show people bracing to be attacked by the Ukrainian military. An orphanage being evacuated. Air raid sirens tested. And this supposed car bomb. No casualties. Ukraine said it was staged. One of the separatist leaders called for people to flee to Russia, women, children, and the elderly first, because he claimed the Ukrainian army is about to launch an all-out war.
It defies basic logic to believe the Ukrainians would choose this moment with well over 150,000 troops arrayed on its borders to escalate a year-long conflict.
Instead, Ukraine accuses the separatists, who are armed and led by the Kremlin, of firing on Ukrainian territory in an attempt to bait the Ukrainian army into a response. Tonight, Ukrainian officials accuse Russia of using these separatists to create a fabricated pretext for an invasion.
On Saturday, Vladimir Putin is set to personally oversee large-scale drills involving Russia's strategic nuclear forces. The U.S. Army says about 150 American troops and additional fighting vehicles will be moved into Hungary in the coming days. And two U.S. officials tell NBC News President Biden will be closely engaged with his national security team over the weekend. As for the man who tried to stop Biden from becoming president, he's facing new legal troubles tonight. A federal judge has ruled that January 6th related civil lawsuits filed against Donald Trump can move forward. Those suits accuse Trump and others of triggering the Capitol riot. He's also facing new scrutiny over those White House records that should have gone to the National Archives, but instead ended up at Mar-a-Lago. Today, the archives confirmed that it found classified material among the boxes of records that were taken to the Florida estate.
Yeah, so just imagine what the propaganda in Russia, they're actually telling their residents that Ukraine is going to attack them. And that's the reason that they have the troops there. I know you can't make this stuff up. So this is what they're probably going to say to their residents, and the reason that the war is probably going to start. Remember, they have 190-some thousand troops that we can see via satellite imagery. And, I mean, again, with all these troops there, they're out there in the freezing cold of winter. It's very, I mean, in my opinion, you can let me know your thoughts if you disagree. It's unlikely that they're there just to do nothing. So, and they're adding tens of thousands of troops by the day. I just personally don't think that they're going to end up doing nothing. I guess we'll see, but they're adding more and more troops by the day. So I guess we'll see what happens here. The Olympics end tomorrow. Kind of, there's a national stage with national media going on here. And when that calms down here at tomorrow, I mean, we'll see what happens. Also, you heard that other story there at the end. Former President Trump had two different rulings go against him. Number one, a judge ruled against Trump that he must face civil suits against him over the January 6th insurrection. Former President Donald Trump must face multiple civil lawsuits seeking to hold him liable for what happened on January 6th. A federal judge ruled on Friday, rejecting his efforts to dismiss the cases. U.S. District Judge Amit Mehta issued a 112-page opinion rejecting the former president's assertion that he has absolute immunity from the lawsuits because they concern his conduct while in office. The judge wrote, quote, "To deny a president immunity from civil damages is no small step. The court well understands the gravity of its decision, but the alleged facts of this case are without precedent, and the court believes that its decision is consistent with the purposes behind such immunity." Quote, "After all, the president's actions here do not relate to his duties of faithfully executing the laws, conducting foreign affairs, commanding the armed forces, or managing the executive branch. Quote, they entirely concern his efforts to remain in office for a second term. These are unofficial acts, so the separation of powers concerns that justify the president's broad immunity are not present here." That is a direct quote from the judge. Also, there was a separate ruling here from New York against the former president. Check this out.
Former President Trump and two of his children must answer questions under oath. That from a judge in New York today. The judge shot down a request from the former president's lawyers asking the court to block subpoenas from the state's attorney general. It's part of an ongoing investigation into the Trump organization's business practices. Attorney General Tish James says she wants to question the former president, his son Don Jr., and his daughter Ivanka as part of the civil probe. In his decision, the judge said, in the final analysis, a state attorney general commences investigating a business entity, uncovers copious evidence of possible financial fraud, and wants to question, under oath, several of the entity's principals, including its namesake. She has the clear right to do so. Lawyers for the Trump family argue the investigation is politically motivated, and they indicated they would appeal the decision. So this legal fight is far from over.
Meanwhile, on multiple different stimulus items we're going to talk about here, as you can see here on the screen, deadline fast approaching to apply for a one-time $2,000 stimulus check for individuals and $4,000 for couples for up to $500,000 Americans. This is an article as of last night. Okay, let me give you details on this, and then we'll talk about $2,000 stimulus checks for everybody here in just a moment. As you can see here, thousands of Americans in New Jersey have just days remaining to apply for one-time stimulus checks that could see families get up to $4,000, $2,000 per person. So if you're a couple married filing jointly, you could get up to $4,000. Around 500,000 people in the Garden State are ineligible for federal aid. Ineligible. And so they have a fund for ineligible people called the Excluded New Jerseyans Fund. As you can see here, officials launched the Excluded New Jerseyans Fund, a $40 million package designed to provide relief for undocumented immigrants affected by the pandemic. Successful single applicants are in line for a check worth up to $2,000, while families with an income of less than $55,000 can get up to $4,000. The deadline for this application is February 28th, and more than $9 million has been paid out to 4,000 people so far, according to NJ.com, NewJersey.com, but NJ.com. There are at least 13,000 applicants that are still pending, and 530 cases have been rejected. So you can still apply for this if you fall under these qualifications until February 28th. And this is a program that New Jersey has going on. Americans have been warned, though, that this application process will shut earlier if the $40 million has been spent. And Sarah Ferrando, an American Civil Liberty Union of New Jersey, said that $40 million is not enough to support all 500,000 New Jerseyans ineligible for federal aid. Quote, we urge New Jersey legislature to build upon this success and allocate increased funds to ensure that all excluded communities can access relief and move our state towards true recovery. 500,000 people in just New Jersey alone not getting stimulus checks is a lot of people. That's a lot of people for just one state. Wow. Governor Phil Murphy revealed on January 27th that officials found extra funding from the American Rescue Plan to help cover the plan. Meanwhile, in Oregon, the state could see more than 250,000 Americans receive a stimulus boost. Initially, lawmakers flirted with a proposal that was aimed to send $2,000 stimulus payments. I don't think they were able to pass that, but they have now reduced it down to $600. That's estimated to cost the state $180 million. Portland Representative Andrea Valderrama, I just covered this here recently, a chief sponsor of the bill, said the proposal has been downsized because the previous level would have made recipients eligible for federal taxation, as reported by the Oregon Public Broadcasting. And I don't think there was enough support for it as well. The new bill also allows eligible workers to get the full payment without worrying about taxes. Workers are eligible for the payments if they applied for the Earned Income Tax Credit in Oregon on their 2020 state taxes. The deadline for Californians who were owed stimulus payments worth up to $1,200 for the California stimulus check was February 15th. That was from the Golden State Stimulus Check Program 1. The state of California could also receive another stimulus check here in 2022. There's enough money to send out an $1,100 potential stimulus check here for this year. for like 27 million people in California. 27 million. Yeah, that's enough people for like 10 or 15 states combined, just because California is so large. They have like a 40 or 50 billion dollar surplus yet again this year. And California Governor Newsom said there might be another stimulus check going out to California. So we have a lot of different states here, if you've been watching my show, that are actually sending out stimulus checks to their residents, or proposing stimulus checks to their residents, or are flush with cash from the third stimulus check package that gave at least $1 billion to each state, depends on their population. And or they're just flush with tax revenues and are considering stimulus checks here this year. I'll keep you up to date on that. In addition, we have lots of different lawmakers here that are in support. As you can see here, over 80 different lawmakers are now in support of further direct payments. We have actually had senators write letters to President Biden in support of a fourth stimulus check. And remember, there's about $800 billion of leftover stimulus money from Stimulus Package 1, Stimulus Package 2, and Stimulus Package 3 that is already approved by Congress and is just sitting there. And it wouldn't add to the national debt, and it wouldn't add to inflation either, because it's already been printed money. It's already been approved. It's already been allocated. It's already been added to the debt, and it's already been, per se, added to inflation as well, because it's already been printed and already been allocated. They could send this out. It would only take half the money to be added or to be sent out for a fourth stimulus check. And Congress is getting a lot of pressure for a fourth stimulus check. You can see this change.org petition here for $2,000 per month stimulus checks, which Kamala Harris, then Senator Kamala Harris, now Vice President Kamala Harris, automatically updated her name when she changed her name on Twitter, back in 2020 said, quote, "I'm proposing $2,000 monthly payments throughout the pandemic and for 3 months after, because rent and bills are still due during this crisis and people are going hungry. It's that basic." This is from her official Twitter account. You can literally just Google Kamala Harris $2,000 monthly payments, and you can bring this right up. This is her official Twitter account. This was back when she was a senator. She's now the vice president. And so the people said, all right, let's start a petition here for exactly what the vice president called for. And over 3 million people have signed it. Imagine getting a petition and having over 3 million people sign it. Yeah, that's a lot of people. As far as I know, I've never seen a petition with more signatures than that. It's, as far as I know, the most highly signed petition I have ever seen. 3 million signatures. We also have another petition here from the Senior Citizens League to provide a $1,400 stimulus check to Social Security recipients. The Senior Citizens League says being a collective voice to members of Congress, urging them to issue a $1,400 stimulus check, just like I'm a voice here for you guys, a voice to Congress as well. I email, tweet them as well. I email, tweet to Congress, and I speak out for you guys here on YouTube as well. They say they're urging Congress to issue a $1,400 stimulus check to Social Security recipients. Because of how bad inflation is, how bad the pandemic is, 63% of Americans right now are living paycheck to paycheck or behind on bills and struggling. And you got to think all this demand and all this pressure on lawmakers is got to be getting to them, especially in an election year with the House and the Senate and a lot of states, governors coming up for re-election here in just a few months. And a lot is on the line. A lot is on the line, and a lot's on the line for the people as well here, as people are struggling here on a day-to-day and month-to-month basis. So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I will be here for you here every day as a voice for you guys, and here with updates on everything going on here in our country and with the stimulus and everything that you need to know about on a daily basis. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button right now. It's completely free, and it makes it so you won't miss out on new videos that come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember those times and tune in every day at those times so you don't miss out on new videos. After subscribing, click the bell icon to get reminders on your device when we go live with new videos. You can click here to watch my newest video next, or you can click here to see my newest video about adult monthly checks that could be coming out here in the future as well. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.